Getting ready to work on your taxes? IRS has something new this year to protect you from identity theft.
If there's anything to be happy about, it's for the man that murdered your daughter to be behind bars and justice to start for my daughter's life that he took.
The mother of a murdered woman speaks out as the killer is finally sentenced nearly a year after he fled the trial. And this man is accused of breaking into a Lake Charles home and raping a woman.
And there's still some rain on the radar, but it should be ending soon. I'll have the latest forecast coming up in just a couple minutes.
Sponsored by Lake Charles Memorial Health System, covering the news for Southwest Louisiana. This is 7 News at 6.
Even people getting a refund often procrastinate when doing their federal income tax, and that could be costly. Good evening, I'm Andrea Robinson. Getting a late start could increase the chances a scammer will get your refund, but Teresa Schmidt has more on another layer of protection offered by the IRS.
Imagine getting a letter from IRS in the mail telling you 2 tax returns have been filed under your Social Security number. That means scammers got your information and filed before you, often to steal your refund.
It can happen very easily with some taxpayers, and they don't even realize that their information has been compromised until they go and file a tax return.
Angela Guth with the Better Business Bureau explains 3 common ways they get your info. Sometimes the bad guys got your info through a phishing scheme or a corrupt tax preparer or a data breach.
Usually when there is a data breach, you are notified when that happens, so you're supposed to actually flag your Social Security number by going out to the annualcreditreport.com.
Also, IRS has something new to protect you. It's called the Identity Protection PIN.
The IRS is now offering an identity protection PIN. It's an extra PIN number in addition to your Social Security number when filing your returns each year. So you're, of course, just like with any PIN number, you need to keep that information very private and secure. It's just another level of multi-authentication factors that can help you in protecting your identity.
Another thing to know, IRS does not contact you by phone, only mail. And scammers can use the same techniques against businesses if they get their federal tax ID. Teresa Schmidt, 7 News.
For links to the IRS and the BBB, visit the KPLC website.
Time now for your first alert weather forecast.
Well, our cold front is still slowly moving through southwest Louisiana. You can kind of see where it's at based on the wind direction. Everyone that has north or northwesterly winds are behind the front. So basically from near Oakdale through to Quincy to just west of Lake Charles, that front will be pushing east slowly with time. Here's a look at the radar locally. I do see some showers popping up. Actually, a little bit of new activity popping up now in the vicinity of just south of Ragley there around the Gillis community. We'll zoom in closer to some showers across portions of Allen Parish as well. You can see kind of a broken line still going on from just north of Kinder to Oberlin to now into portions of Evangeline Parish. And as I said, that line does extend farther south into northern Calcasieu Parish. Stronger storms across lower Acadiana. These are moving northeast into the Atchafalaya Basin. You can always use our First Alert weather app to track those showers and storms. But look at the temperature difference. Jasper now has fallen to 63 behind the front, still 70 here in Lake Charles. Beaumont now down to 66. Those temperatures should be falling tonight, and I think into the 50s for most of us tomorrow morning. Likely a mixture of sun and clouds, though, and that may keep some of us in the 60s for highs tomorrow. Definitely cooler than the last few days. I'll have another radar view as well as the rest of our forecast in just a few minutes.
A traffic alert for motorists heading east on I-10. The interstate's eastbound lanes are closed at the Evangeline Thruway in Lafayette Parish after an 18-wheeler hit the bridge. And here you can see the damage that impact left behind. And the big job workers have ahead of them to repair the bridge. For now, traffic is being diverted to I-49 South. No word when that stretch of I-10 East will reopen. A Lake Charles woman is raped by a stranger during a home invasion. Lake Charles police says it happened Saturday morning when 21-year-old Joseph Milton Ryan of Lake Charles forced his way into the home on West McNeese Street. Once inside, police say he entered the woman's room, beat her, and raped her. Officers say surveillance video led them to arrest Ryan later that day. Tonight, Ryan faces rape, home invasion, and battery charges. He's jailed on a $250,000 bond. Former Livingston Parish Sheriff Deputy Dennis Perkins was sentenced to 100 years in prison this morning. Perkins pleaded guilty to a number of sex crimes, including a second-degree rape, sexual battery of a child under the age of 18, mingling of harmful substances, and much more. Perkins will not be eligible for appeal, probation, or parole. Prosecutors say they consulted with his victims and their families before agreeing to this deal, which spares them from having to relive the experience during a trial.
They've been through hell, and they're just as satisfied to see all of this come to a conclusion and justice prevail so that they can hopefully move forward and not have to look back ever again.
Tonight at 10, we'll have more of the new chilling details from inside the courtroom. On the run for nearly a year, Matthew Edgar finally goes to jail for a murder he was convicted of in January of 2022. A Sabine County, Texas judge sentenced Edgar to 99 years in prison for the 2020 murder of 19-year-old Livy Lewis. Last year, on day 3 of his trial, he didn't show up to court. He's been on the run until his arrest by Sabine County deputies on December 29th. Livy's family and friends were on hand in court during today's sentencing. Darcy Bass, Livy's mother, says she hopes anyone who helped Edgar while he was evading authorities will be arrested.
If there's anything to be happy about, it's for the man that murdered your daughter to be behind bars and justice to start for my daughter's life that he took. I hope that everyone that helped him and made our lives, which was already hell from losing Livy, that made it even more hell I couldn't sleep good at night because there was a murderer out on the loose. I hope that they prosecute them to the fullest because they violated the law.
The judge allowed Livy's mother and grandmother to address the court before Edgar's sentencing was handed down. 3 people found dead inside a New Orleans home. Police believe they had been dead for days before being discovered during a welfare check this morning. Police are investigating the deaths as a homicide after a number of bullets were found on the floor. Should a store clerk who shot an armed robber face charges? Tonight, this clerk at Dollar General store in Monroe, Louisiana faces a manslaughter charge. Police say Rufus Alexander shot and killed an armed robber. Police say Alexander told them he shot the robber because he was afraid. That robber fled the store and was later found lying on the pile of money he stole. He was rushed to a hospital where he later died. The FAA releases a preliminary report on the helicopter crash in the Gulf that killed 4 people. Those bodies have now been recovered and are now awaiting autopsies before they're released to family members. Rotocraft Leasing Company put out a statement today saying that 3 passengers and a pilot involved in the December 29th crash near Galliano have been recovered, and they extend condolences to families and friends of the victims. Meantime, the FAA releases a preliminary report saying the Bell 407 helicopter had just departed the platform in the Gulf last Thursday and crashed back onto the Helen deck during takeoff, subsequently breaking apart and falling into the Gulf of Mexico. Many claim their New Year's resolutions are hitting the gym and getting healthy. But are you financially healthy? Tonight at 10, 7 News talks to a financial advisor about how to get your money straight this year. The Mega Millions jackpot is now up to $785 million. That's after Friday night's drawing failed to produce any winners. That means tonight's drawing will be the 4th largest Mega Millions jackpot in the game's history. Only 3 previous Mega Millions jackpots have gone above $700 million mark, and all 3 times those rolls continued on past $1 billion. Next, the NFL world is still stunned after a player suffers a cardiac arrest during Monday Night Football. Tonight, we'll learn more about the effort to save his life as 7 News at 6 continues.